I'm Tom, this is Daily Friction, and today we'll talk about some words that we use all the time but that work completely against us. Tomorrow, next month, next year. Why is it the best idea to start now and today, wherever we are and whatever our situation is? Because of the compound effect. I recently went deep into the rabbit hole of the compound effect, especially in finance. The concept is simple but hard to grasp for our linear thinking brains. You've probably heard this famous example before, but it's worth repeating. Imagine I offer you two choices. Number one, I hand you 2.5 million in cash today. And number two, I give you a single penny, but we double it every day for a month, and you get whatever that's worth at the end. Most people would happily take the 2.5 million without thinking much about it. But get this, the penny goes to over $1 in just 8 days. Still feels like pocket change compared to the 2.5 million, but for the next couple of weeks, it keeps doubling and slowly growing. And then something wild happens. In the final stretch, it explodes. Not only does it surpass the 2.5 million on day number 29, but on the 31st day, it jumps from 5.4 million to 10.8 million. A single penny, doubled daily, totally crushes the 2.5 million option. And this is the compound effect in action. Small, consistent steps that seem insignificant at first, but snowball into something massive over time. And it's not just about money, your habits, your growth, your life. But here's the problem. Our brains are terrible at understanding this. Studies show that humans struggle to wrap their heads around compound effects because they're non-linear. As an article in Psychology Today puts it,
compound interest effects are non-intuitive to us because they are non-linear. The human brain, by default, thinks linearly. We expect, for example, that our time, money, and effort will be rewarded in proportion to how much of them we invest. But this isn't how it works at all. Instead, assets such as time, money, and effort often yield minimal rewards at the beginning.
We are wired to expect instant results. Drop $1 in a vending machine, get a snack. But the compound effect doesn't work like that. It's more like planting a seed and waiting for a tree to grow. At first, it's just like a sprout, growing a root system before it becomes visible above the surface. The same article continues.
We also believe that the poor payoff we obtain from our initial effort means that the same result will continue. So, we don't continue. In reality, the poor initial payoff we experience is often working beneath our awareness.
So why are we tripping over this? Here are a few potential reasons. First, evolution trained us for instant feedback. Back in the day, immediate results meant survival. Eat, run, fight. Those immediate results were always important. In one sentence, compounding rewards patience, but evolution rewarded urgency. So we are wired to think linearly, but the world often works exponentially. Our brains just don't get that hockey stick curve intuitively. We don't see the 10.8 million coming from a penny doubling. Another reason is that our brains crave new stimulation, which releases dopamine. Compounding, on the other hand, requires doing the same thing consistently. It seems boring, but that's where the magic hides. Our brains are dopamine junkies, though. Always chasing the next hit. Scroll through social media, taste the sugar, and feel good instantly. But doing the same small and boring thing every day, no dopamine spike. And another thing is that we underestimate small but consistent steps. A daily 1% improvement would make you 37 times better in a year. 1%. Tiny. But over time, game changer. As you can see, we kind of need to trick our own system to get to the place where the real good stuff happens. We've got to trust the process. Now let's take this compound effect and apply it to self-improvement. The same principles that turn a penny into millions can also transform our lives. If we start today, we'll be at a different place tomorrow and not back at zero, even though those first tiny steps might feel like nothing. And that's the trick of compounding. The early wins are so small, they're easy to dismiss, but they're building something huge. Darren Hardy nails it in the compound effect.
Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals radical difference.
Oftentimes, it's not about making one big dramatic move. It's about showing up every day, making tiny tweaks, and letting time do the heavy lifting. Hardy also says in his book,
In essence, you make your choices, and then your choices make you.
maybe you've heard about this before. Your daily habits aren't just actions. They are votes for who you are becoming. The cool thing is, when you improve one area of your life, it ripples out and primes other areas for improvement. For example, start working out regularly and suddenly smoking, drinking, or eating junk just feels more wrong than it did before. If you want to go for a smoke, have a light 20-minute run instead and tell me how much you're craving that cigarette afterwards. You will drink more water because you're dehydrated from sweating. You will eat better because you want to fuel your workouts. You will sleep better because you're tired from the gym. And suddenly, you're less stressed, more confident, and even your work performance improves. One small change primes everything else and can compound to create ripples of better choices. And this is why starting today matters. Every day you wait is a day you're not creating those ripples. Pick one thing, anything, and do it today. Write 100 words, do 10 push-ups, meditate for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you start and do something. The act of starting creates momentum, and momentum compounds. And the earlier you start, the higher you will climb. The question shouldn't be when we can make this big change in our lives. The question should be, which small step can we take in the right direction today? John C. Maxwell puts it like this in Today Matters.
So stop waiting until your car or home is paid off, until you get a new car or home, until your kids leave the house, until you go back to school, until you finish school, until you lose 10 pounds, until you gain 10 pounds, until you get married, until you get a divorce, until you have kids, until you retire, until summer, until spring, until winter, until fall, until you die.
How many times have you told yourself, I'll start when X happens? Maxwell's point is clear. There's never a perfect time. The only time that matters is now. Every day you wait is a day you're not compounding. It's like leaving that penny on the table instead of letting it double. I heard this somewhere before. You could ask yourself every day, what have I done today that will positively impact my future? And start tiny. It will add up. We don't need to have all the answers when we start. Know the destination and then take it step by step. A cool analogy I heard before is a car's navigation system. When you put in a destination, you don't focus on the whole route at every moment. You just check where the next turn will be. Now think of the journey to your goal in the same way. We might not see the whole way when we start, but the journey won't kick off until we take that first step. The next turns and possibilities will come up along the way. And don't forget that staying idle and not doing anything is also a choice. We're always tempted to push things off. I'll start tomorrow. Next week is better. Darren Hardy puts it perfectly.
Your biggest challenge isn't that you've intentionally been making bad choices. Heck, that would be easy to fix. Your biggest challenge is that you've been sleepwalking through your choices. Half the time, you're not even aware you're making them.
And Jeff Olson in The Slight Edge doubles down.
The right choices and wrong choices you make at the moment will have little or no noticeable impact on how your day goes for you. Nor tomorrow, nor the next day. No applause, no cheers, no screams, no life or death results played out on the big screen. But it is exactly those same undramatic, seemingly insignificant actions that, when compounded over time, will dramatically affect how your life turns out.
This is why people underestimate the compound effect. Progress is slow at first, so slow it's easy to quit. Results aren't visible immediately, so we lose faith. And let's be real, we're all suckers for quick fixes. We chase hacks, not habits. But hacks fizzle out, habits compound. And if you find yourself neglecting the daily steps towards your personal goals, maybe because you don't see the benefits, let me tell you about the so-called ice cube effect. Picture an ice cube that's sitting in a room that's minus 15 degrees Celsius. You start warming the room 1 degree at a time, all the way down to minus 2 degrees Celsius. Nothing. And minus 1 degree Celsius, still nothing. Then 0 degrees Celsius and bam, the ice starts melting. All those tiny increases in temperature compounded to create a phase shift. Some things in life work the same way. Those small, consistent efforts might feel like they're doing nothing, but they're building toward a tipping point. Keep going and don't give up. Who knows? Maybe you're right before the melting point. Reward yourself for consistency, not just results. And most importantly, focus on the process, not the outcome. The outcome will come, but only if you stick with the process. Show up, do the work, trust the math. So, what do you think about this topic? Do you have anything more to add? What did I miss? Share it with the community in the comments below, like this episode and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Let's end this with the following quote and see you in the next one, brother.
Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day.